Good morning. It is chilly here. It is 60 degrees. I've got my wool socks on with my chacos, and Blaze is chilling in the passenger seat. You might be able to see her face poking through. We are parked somewhere in Wyoming in a national forest, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys the custom welded gray water tank cradle that my dad made and that we installed undermounted on the van. About a year ago, when we were researching how people installed their gray water tanks underneath the van, we came across a lot of janky, questionable installations. And so my dad made certain that when we installed ours, that was not the case. And that's what we're about to share with you. Here we get our first look at the slotted aluminum angle frame that my dad welded together for the gray water tank. It's a 22-gallon water tank, so it's pretty decent size. And in this next picture, you see he added a cross bracket just to help reinforce it, and it'll help attach it to the frame of the van once we get to that step. We have it here flipped right side up. You'll notice that he cut out notches for the inlet and outlets of the gray water tank. Installing this thing took quite a few tries of trial and error, of figuring out the right position, marking where the brackets would go to help reinforce underneath, and where we could attach them to the frame of the van. So we used Dad's car jack, if you will, from his old auto body days. You can see it's seen better days, and an old bench that he made once just to help support it and get a sense of where everything was, where it needed to be, and mark the necessary locations. Here he's actually using an air ratchet to undo all of the bolts, nuts, washers, I don't remember exactly, that were part of like OEM, original equipment manufactured parts of the van itself, so that we could figure out the threading, the length that we needed, what size, and we were going to need more of all of that, so we had to go get that. And then Dad is making some more brackets. These are the hanging brackets that attach to the sides of the frame itself, or the cradle, and he had to beat them into shape. Then, once those were done, he used a sandblaster to smooth out all the edges so that it wouldn't catch, and we wanted to do this before we applied paint. Here we have the finished with brackets in place. It's not finished, but we're test fitting again just to see, are they in the right place? And then how do we number the brackets? Which bracket goes where in the underbody, so that when we go to paint them, we have a sense of the correct order, because they're custom made, so each of them are unique and have a special fit and a special location. We used Rustoleum primer to prime the whole thing. We are adding the heating pad. I've got a switch in the control panel, so I can turn that on when it's close to being below freezing. And then that green thing on the side is actually the sea level water level sensor. And we'll get more into that later, but there's one for the gray water tank and there's one for the freshwater tank. We painted the cradle in all black, and we painted the metal braces in all black. And then finally, it is installed. This was a multi-day, multi-hour, multi-attempts installation. But I think it looks beautiful. It blends into the plastic molding of the van itself, so you really don't notice it unless you're actually looking for it. This doesn't include any of the plumbing associated with, connecting it to the shower and the sink drain. We'll get to that later. But yeah, it's there and it's pretty. Every creative project that you work on, whether it's on your house, your car, sewing, building airplanes, at work, whatever it might be, you are continuously learning new skills and you are adapting or improving your problem solving and your critical thinking. And you're doing this throughout your lifetime. That is what I learned. That's the first thing I learned while I watched my parents and I figure stuff out throughout the build. And it was really impressive to see just this long list of skills that they've acquired throughout their lifetime. And I hope that I can do the same. The second thing I learned from this experience was that, and I already knew this, it's more reinforced, if anything, is that my dad can build anything. The man has so many skills under his hat, so many tools that he has access to, and so much experience to draw from that he can build anything. And I think part of it is because he was an auto body repairman. And so he's just worked with his hands his entire life. He also builds radio control airplanes and has been doing that for a really long time. And his skill set and his tools, that he has in his toolbox, not just tangible tools, but things he's learned over the years, have the tendency to inform one another and create a better end product in the long run. It's impressive. This project cost us a couple $100 and a lot of time spent. We spent $35 on the gray tank heating pad, around $60 on slotted aluminum angle, $22 on paint, $272 on sea level monitor system with fresh and gray water level sensors. And if we add that to what we spent so far in month 4, which was $9,282, it comes to $9,671 spent so far on this van build. Thank you again for being here. I greatly appreciate you making it to the end of the video. If you found this helpful, informative, enlightening about how we would recommend you create a cradle for your gray water tank that is extremely sturdy, that is resilient against rust and snow and ice and rain, and will prove to last for an extended period of time, ideally, most likely, for the length that this camper van is in existence, running existence. So if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And again, thanks for being here. I'll see you next week with the start of month 5.